My name is Mimi. I record a podcast in Berlin in my flat that I share with 4 other humans. I've got 3 kids, and most recently a little dog moved in, which is very, very exciting. It's super fresh. She's been with us for 24 hours and she's a little rescue. I'm gonna add in a little clip of her at the end just to share it, and it's also fresh, so I don't want to really talk about it all. I don't know why I started off the podcast with this. I've written a running order. Whoop whoop, Mimi's got a running order. I don't know if I can stick to it, or if I am the type of person who has a cohesive, clear podcast. I have a podcast. It's all about knitting and making, and family knitting or knitting for children is one big part of what I do, and so there will be lots of talking about that. Brand new in my life, quilting, not kilting, like kilt dancing. Quilting, Quilting, Mimi. Quilting. I think that's why I tend to say patchwork, because for me that makes more sense. I can say that better. So I will talk about that as well. I have a Patreon page, which is the Yarnchix Patreon page, and you can go and check that out. I've just uploaded a lasagna recipe, comfort food, and I'm making a lasagna again, different vegetable lasagna tonight, so that's why I had that on my mind. I was like, I should say there's this fun comfort food honest recipe on Patreon and a little mini podcast, because I got carried away when I recorded my monthly. I do these sort of little monthly overview, what's about to come to the page, little mini vlogs, and this one is 15 minutes long, so it's a mini podcast. And also, as part of my admin, I wanted to tell you that I'm going to I'm going to Finland! I can't believe it. Jyväskylä is a Finnish wool festival, and it's in the countryside, and it happens right after Juhannus, which is midsummer, so there will be lots of daylight late into the day and into the night. I think the sun sets for around an hour, maybe it doesn't even set, so I'm very excited about this continuum of dusk and dawn. I love that. We spent a lot of family holidays when my kids were younger in Finland, and I have very dear friends over there, so I'm gonna see them as well and see lots of people, maybe even you, and yes, work for Elke, who is Tulva Yarns. She's a friend here from Berlin, and she dyes British wools naturally, so it's all plant dyed colours and they're amazing. I will show you a project that I'm knitting in her wool in a minute. So I'm very excited. Patreon is part of the reason why I can do these things, because I get a little bit of funding and I'm working out there, so that's how I fund the travels, and that's how I get to meet new people, more people, and that's what I love. That this podcast becomes more real because I go and meet people and I hope to see you there. If you're there, come and say hi. This is what I look like. And I'm generally like chatty and happy. You will find me on the Tulva Yarn stand, so you'll know how to hunt me down. I also have another admin thing, which is the prize draw. I'm giving away 1 copy of Breeze, which is a book by Making Stories, who are the publishers Verena Kors and Hanna-Lisa Haferkamp, and I absolutely love this second publication they're bringing out, well, they've brought out. It was released, I think, already end of April, early May, and I am hosting the Sahel Top Knit Along as a co-host together with Am, and Am Khatchatryan is the designer of the Sahel tops, so that was really lovely to join forces, and you can always join that knit along. As part of that, I had the opportunity to give away 1 copy of Breeze. So I'm gonna draw a winner, of this book and then add a little bit of a clip to make the winner extra happy that they got the book. All the comments underneath the last episode, which was episode 18, qualified to join the draw of the giveaway of this book. And I'm gonna close my eyes and draw. How am I gonna draw? I'm gonna mix it up this way. So blind, folded, and I think this is the winner. This one is the winner. The winner of a copy of Breeze is Micah. I think you won something before. I can't believe it. You're a lucky girl. So I'm gonna send you a copy of Breeze. Or I think actually Making Stories are gonna send you a copy of Breeze, and then maybe you will join the knit along. Crazy. Good. I'm happy for Micah, and thank you for everyone who commented with their cast on party tricks. I loved reading them, and I'm definitely one to cast on rather than cast off. And I enjoyed reading about those sort of habits and tricks and rituals and techniques and what you're currently knitting or casting on. That was very exciting. So thank you very much. It's finished! My Meadowsweet shawl. I'm so happy with how this looks and how this smells and how this is. Can I admit I still haven't blocked it? I'm like in a bit of a blocking lazy mode. Although it's so sunny, it should be so easy to block. But anyway, I love it, and I wear it like this quite a lot. And I think it doesn't matter that it's not blocked. I am so chuffed. It is basically all the yarns that I bought at Meet the Shepherdess in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival on the Sunday. All the yarns that I bought all in one shawl. That's quite exciting. The main yarn is the thickest. It's like a decay weight Shetland by Black Isle Yarns, and then the I-cord bind off at the top, and all the different lace colors are New Leaf yarns. They're alpaca wool blends, and then the last sort of pico edge blue bounce of color is Hawkshaw sheep, and I had a bit of a mistake in there. I had added one row of knitted and then cast off pico edge, which made the pico look wonky, and it was just wrong. I should have done what I finally ended up doing, which was just cast off with a blue, and I didn't run out. Actually, now I have a little bit left because I must have made so many mistakes. Anyway, I think I did I did 2 picos in a place where only one should have been, so just imagine how many hours of pico edge bind off that wasted. I am, however, so chuffed. This is a happy shawl. And in my Patreon movie vlog that I recently uploaded, I shared a story of why it is actually a shawl of my dreams, and how coincidentally, yes, it came about in the right moment, in the right year, and in the right style. So my shepherdess shawl, I'm very, very happy. It's the Meadowsweet shawl pattern, sorry for not saying that earlier, by Amber of Fancy Tiger Crafts. She has a double last name. I'm going to put her full name as the full quoted, cited designer down here, but can't remember off the top of my head, which is bad, but never mind. Published in The Wool Journey, which is printed by Pom Pom Press, and I really like that book. There is another pattern in there by the almighty Stephen West. There are only accessory patterns actually. There are some mitts, a hat, and this shawl, another shawl, and maybe Stulpen, whatever that is. Leg warmers or arm warmers. So Stulpen, whatever. German word for leg warmers or wrist warmers, Stulpe. I like that word. So very excited. I finished this. It's my one FO for this show, and there are quite a few whips, so I'm gonna share them now. Whip down together. Come on and come on over. Visit the Whip Down Together feed from Cynthia over in Ravelry to see some of the amazing groups, creations and communication. I really like that group. I help a little bit when Cynthia needs help. At the moment she is, I think, sending out lots of prizes because another month has been and gone and we're currently in the next, so from the 4th of June to the 4th of July, all those whips that turn to FOs can be posted over there, and then there's always an amazing prize draw at the end. I'm always very excited to see what Cynthia makes and sends out. What I wanted to share this week is my S shawl. There is an S knit along, which is sort of sub knit along to the Jawohl Marlisle knit along. I think that's still running. I hope so, because I'm open-ended. So with the Marlisle knit along, we'll have to see. I might be able to enter this shawl, because can you see? I'm on a 40-inch. It's on actually 40 centimeters. So I think that's like a 20-inch. Oh, anyway, it's the smallest circular needles I own, more for hats and the like. And I'm basically knitting, then casting off a little bit, and then steeking this shawl. I'm so looking forward to that. At the moment, I think if I stretch it, you can see it's like a folded shawl. God, it's so lovely. And I'm using Blacker Yarns Tamar, 4-ply and DK. I'm sort of taking it in turn, alternating them. And the background colors are both by Pingelwin, German union, which is super affordable. Literally, that is also why I'm taking that for my plant dye yarns, because it's more like a, what do you call it, like a sourcing brand, because it's, I mean, I don't know if they know how expensive wool is if you sell 100-gram hanks. Usually when they're organic wool like this one, you pay beyond 10 euros, I think, and they charge €4.90. It's super affordable. Check them out. I'm putting the link in because it's a tip-top tip, and especially if you're into natural dyes and local wool and you're in Germany, this will be around the corner, and it makes so much sense. And they make this amazing, also the natural fleece greys in their range are really nice. I ordered a darker grey now as well, and this is Merino Dun, and they do a Merino Dick, which is a thicker yarn, and that is what I've ordered for my blanket project, because I want to dye and then knit a blanket. More about that in episode 20. For now, I know I've got to decrease, and actually these are wider stripes and they're getting smaller, and I'm going to go smaller and smaller and smaller with the stripes as well, which is due to my yarn issues. But I'm quite happy about that sort of design change, that I'll go smaller rectangular spaces until the end. The S shawl is a design by amazing Anna Maltz, and it's her Marlisle technique. So you basically use 2 strands of wool all the way through, and then you have these marled areas, if you see the inside, and you have the knitted areas with floats at the back. I'm excited to see how this shawl is. I've knitted the Humboldt sweater, and I've made 2 of them, and I actually love it. I'm getting used to using this it was a gift, and it was a great present. It was an advice from Cynthia, when you Marlisle, that you could use a button that you put both yarns through the 2 holes, like, and then you have this as a detangling support. Then Anya, who is Knitting Sharky on Instagram, sent me a present. Like, she's like, I've got so many things I want to send you. Can I send you a box of things? And it has really helped me, because by using this button, I have less of a tangle of the 2 yarns I'm using for the Marlisle technique. And if I actually marling a lot, like in the steek area, I can just sort of shove the whole twisted area all the way up and just knit that marled double yarn into the steek area, and then afterwards I have less of a tangle. Or I can use the button. It sort of helps splitting the yarn as well, because it keeps the yarns away, and it's been amazing. So thank you both from Cynthia for the advice, and Anya for sending me this amazing button as part of her amazing parcel. I will show you more from that parcel in a minute. So I'm super excited to knit my S shawl, and in the S Carl we've had some amazing already finished objects and amazing shawls happening. There will be a price drawn for that S Carl whenever the Marlisle, Marlisle knit along finishes. I will draw a prize for the S Carl as well, because I absolutely love everything that's there. I don't know when that is, but the S Carl is sort of open-ended. It's knit along with a lot of positive ease. So post something, post only one thing, post 3 things, communicate with us, ask for advice, come in with your tips and tricks, and you're always welcome. It's got it's got positive ease and a lot of space for many people, let's put it that way. And I'm super happy about my S shawl in this French field bag, and it sits, and look how it's jumping out. It's jumping out because it's almost done, and I can't wait. I guess that will be my next FO. That's why, I guess. Well, it's not been finished because I'm knitting, so many different things all the time. But it's definitely in the to be finished soon list. What else have I got in my whip list? Oh, one of the reasons I'm so busy with so many things is because I am hosting the Magic 3 Make Along, and in that I'm not just knitting, I'm sewing and making, and we can all use any craft is welcome, basically, as long as it's made, handmade. As long as you feel inspired, please join in. And you don't have to. I know not everybody knits for kids, or maybe sometimes this is connected to some sort of sadnesses, but I reckon it is a good process to make these small things, even if you're giving them away. I think it is lovely making small things for small people, and I've got a great book to share with you as a book advice. For now, I want to show you my whip, which is currently, I'm knitting the Ankers Cardigan, and this is knit in Tulliver yarns. I was saying that this is the yarn that I'm going and helping in Finland to sell with Elke. Elke is the plant dyer, and she dyed this with walnut. I absolutely love this gentle colour. It's very sort of subtly deep. I love it. I think it's going to be a staple. And I'm knitting the stockinette, and I'm alternating knitting the knit stitch continental and the purl stitch Portuguese, because I realize I have a better tension. My gauge is much better if I do that alternating. So I'm quite slow with it, but I love it. I love being slow with it. So I guess 5 or 10 more centimeters, maybe only 5 more centimeters. I think I'm going towards sleeve knitting, moving on towards Sleeve Island, basically. And this is the yarn I'm using, the Tulliver yarn. It is, I think it's the BFL Masham blend. Yeah, BFL, so Blueface Leicester Masham blend, which is from the UK but dyed locally here in Berlin, and I adore this yarn. I'm very happy I'm knitting this, and I'm knitting it, that's sort of my commute knit. It's, as it is a kid's cardigan, it will stay small for commuting. It won't outgrow its bag, and I love that. I love that I'm making something for my daughter. With that, I wanted to sew her dress. So I've got this fabric which I bought second hand. It was already cut like this, and it's got this great pattern, and it you know, it's cheap and cheerful. I think I paid €1.50 for this big pile of fabric. So I'm gonna do my sewing with something that I didn't invest €30 in buying. I just literally paid €1.50 for this fabric in a second-hand shop, and so I think I won't feel as precious. I think I'll still feel precious about it, but I'm so worried in making mistakes. So I'm gonna follow Cynthia's advice and with the sewing, and I will think and show my daughter this. I know I will sew her a dress from a fabric that she's just fallen in love with as well, and maybe it will be this dress, but it's quite a complicated pattern. It says intermediate. I would say I'm a bit sort of beginner moving towards intermediate. With patterned sewing, I'm really not that experienced, but I'm trying and I want to get there, so I'm gonna push myself. And this is the fabric that I'm going to use for making the Mori dress. It's a Mori dress and top pattern, paid for pattern that I bought online, and it's got these lovely sleeves. I will keep you posted about that. Now I've said it, I'm holding myself accountable. I've got to sew it. And so the cardigan, the dress, and what else? Oh, in that set there was gonna be a little critter. I think it was gonna be the bunny, and I would use the leftover new leaf yarns, this grey alpaca blend, to create a little cotton rabbit. I have the pattern because I bought the mouse pattern and knitted that in a Goatland by Little Grey Sheep last year, and this year I wanted to use up this amazing alpaca that I bought in Edinburgh for the little rabbit, for the little bunny in her dress. So that's gonna be that set. Finally, I've sort of created and spoken about a set. As I'm not sure if the cardigan will fit over that dress and whether I'm going to have more inspiration to sew that other dress for my daughter, I'm also going to knit the Greta's Vest. Greta's Vest is a pattern by Kids and Cuddles, and they are friends here in Berlin, and I absolutely love their label. They've now started publishing their own patterns. You can buy finished knits through their Etsy page, so I warmly invite you to go over and check it out. The Greta's Vest, I'm gonna I'm gonna add some photographs from their photo shoot, which I really love the shape. It's like a seed stitch vest that closes with one button. I reckon that will fit better over this dress with the sort of puffy sleeves. So there's gonna be some, and please, that's how the Magic 3 make along is. It's flexible, spontaneous, changing around, and the idea is just to enter a flat lay of 3 things: a top, bottoms, and a toy. And the bottoms in this case I'm saying is the dress, and the top will be the cardigan or the little vest. I'm making both, and then I'm gonna see how it works. And the most fun part is the toy making. I'm gonna knit the little bunny. Toy making wise, amazing Fran, who is woolen hearted, and she creates teddy bears of the utmost quality, the most beautiful mohair, and so full of woolly, heartfelt goodness. It's unbelievable. She's just started her YouTube channel, so please do go over and check out her Toy Making Tuesday tips and tricks, and I've loved watching her. She's like a butterfly coming out of her cocoon when it comes to podcasting. And I love her voice, and I love her care and thoughtfulness, and there is no other way that I can put it than I love it, and I'm proud as whatnot that she's doing this and supporting the Magic 3 make along with her input on toy making. And hopefully it will catch and everyone will be like, I want to make toys all the time because toy making is joyous and fun for so many reasons. I always 100% agree with Fran's wording. It's like she's spelling out what I feel and think, and it's lovely to watch that. You know, she is definitely an inspirational soul that shares so many values. It's an honor. She's joining in. Oh God, I feel all happy and emotional when I talk about the Magic 3 make along. It's just a team of goodness. Because I've mentioned Fran, I've mentioned Cynthia, who is my wip-down, heroine. I look up to her and how she runs that group and how honest she is when it sort of pushes her to, like, it's so hard to organize anything and keep things going and staying on that same train track and keeping going. And I 100% learned that with Magic 3 Make Along last year, that sometimes you need to, pull in help and need support. And I think by talking to her and us finding a way of supporting each other, through that sort of understanding of her maybe also needing some support in the Whip Down Together group, I learned that it would be lovely to find help for the Magic 3 Make Along. And alas, this help happened sort of flowingly. I didn't have to go, Fran, could you do this? But Fran offered, and I think even Cynthia offered, and then Erica Eccles, Lisa, who's Erica Eccles, offered to help as well with quilting. So it sort of was like, yes, these amazing 3 women are up for it, and they're going to write about it as well. I'm not going to be the only one going, woo, 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 come join us, let's do this. Although I still, 100% feel like, come join us, let's do this. That's the sort of core of the project. It's lovely to have the support of others saying it. On that note, I am actually 100% in love with patchwork work. This is a square that Lisa sent me as an example, so I could see her neatly done running stitch at the back and how to flatten it. And she also sent me bits of fabric already cut into squares that I ended up sewing together. So this is my very humble, very tiny first square, and it goes super well with Lisa's. So I'm gonna have this patchwork cover. I don't know how I think they're gonna be alternating 4 of these, and then I'm making 2 more, one with larger squares and one with smaller squares, and then I have to work out how to place them. Anyway, I'm playing around. It's just because this one is too cute. I need to have a bit of Lisa in my mini quilt that I'm making. And then I went through my stash and I found all the sort of smaller, it's a bit dusty, smallest patterned vintage fabrics, or fabrics that I bought for making things for our kids before, and then I added some, and this is also a vintage tiny print, and then I added some fabric from my favorite fabric shop, Från, last week, and my daughter fell for this blue. I might have to film a close-up, but she loved this fabric. And I love it too. They're these sort of huge daisies. I think they look nice as a small patchwork square, but that would be a really nice dress. And this I chose because it had that sort of geometric vintage feeling. So I think all of these fabrics and that will work. I will play with that, and with a bit of coaxing and supporting and nudging, it will become part of the set of 3 for, here she is, Pinga. So she's not gonna have just that summer top, she's gonna have a new summer top, which is a swatch of my last work in progress that I'm gonna share in a minute. So the swatch is going to turn into a summer top, just like this swatch once turned into a summer top. I like being nifty like that. It's sort of like recycling my own knitting. But Pinga also needs the tuxedo, because the original pattern of the Pingelwin is actually what looks like a chicken or a naked penguin plus the tuxedo, and then you can put that on. I'm on it. I just can't decide which needle size, what yarn, and I want to use something from Stash, and there was this shawl that I was gonna frog, and it's sort of a slow going process. It's gonna happen though. So the tuxedo, the top, and then a skirt. So that was another way of using this blue fabric, was gonna be a skirt to go with that. And that patchwork blanket will become the mini blanket for this mini penguin. And the idea is that, I think the size wise, if you imagine like this, that it can be transformed into a sleeping bag with some poppers. So I have an idea. I'm gonna just keep you posted how that goes. So Pinga's having a summer top, a summer skirt, the tuxedo, and the blanket. The tuxedo is actually still Pingelwin, so I'm not counting that, but it's on my list of things that I need to make. And with the whole patchwork thing, I thought if I make something small like that, then I can build up my skills from there. I can make a bigger family quilt afterwards, but we'll have the sort of short-term fulfillment of actually creating a finished thing if I only make 4 squares and a specific backing, which I talk a lot about in my mini secret podcast over on Patreon, but I'm gonna keep that for another time. And I'm gonna make that, finish that, and then start a family quilt. Now, I have some amazing friends out there behind the screen on the other side, and people listen and they hear and they feel inspired, and I've had fabrics sent to me. Can you believe it? I just love that. I say, oh, I'm really getting into quilting and patchwork, and some friends say, I've got lots of leftovers, do you want some vintage fabric? And I go, yes, please. So Anya, who I spoke about, who is knitting Sharky, she sent me, for example, this amazing green vintage. It's so down my street. Anya, you hit the nail on the head. She sent more like this, which must be from some sort of sheets. Bina Maya is one of the bee stories. In my childhood, I used to, when I was at my friend's house, because we didn't have a TV, get to watch Bina Maya at my friend's house on a weekend if we'd have a sleepover. So this is amazing. This will go into the family quilt for sure. There's a tiny end bit with clouds, which I love. I love that sort of light blue. So perfect for patchwork making. Yesterday, another parcel arrived, this time from Holland. Lieke, hi there Lieke, lovely Lieke, who I saw in Den Haag this spring and then in Edinburgh, which is really lovely to see her. She sent me also some vintage fabrics. Here you go. Isn't that just so, it's gonna be such a good combination. I am so excited about this big project. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. Oh, and look at that. That's a bit thicker. I wonder if that's gonna work. I mean, that's what I'm still working out, how the fabrics will work in different... Oh, even this, look! The lines. I mean, all of this will go into one project somehow. Whatever the thickness, I'm going to work that out. I'm going to learn that. Oh, so excited for a big family quilt for us. I guess I'm not going to make that as part of the Magic 3 make-along, but I'm starting that process as part of the make-along, if that makes sense. So chuffed. So pleased about that progress. As part of the Magic 3 make-along, this was also an idea that came from Fran, but it's 100% down my line of thought process. And something that I'd started to podcast about and then sort of shied away. But mending. If you want to not make a toy, but there is a toy that you need mending, like an eye has fallen out of the teddy bear, the ear is torn, you need to do that. Or the doll is, like our doll, it had a hole in the face. You know, these sort of mending projects, I'll happily see join forces. Or if bottoms is difficult, if there's a pair of trousers that your child has and you're going to somehow sort of mend the knees of the holes in a creative, beautiful way, that would obviously count as well. I have got one piece of clothing from my daughter, which she wore since she's 2. So I got that from a friend in Japan. It's this amazing fox top. It's like a little tunic. Actually, it's made for 6-year-olds, so now she could wear it as a summer top. But it has frayed in all these places because the bias binding is just this sort of, I don't know, silky, see-through thing, and it's coming apart. And it really tore on this side. So I went to Frau Tolpe about half a year ago and bought this bias binding in a similar colour and stripiness as the bottom of the top, to fix just the one sleeve, because I thought actually it works with this being quite, I don't know. Maybe I'll think differently about it once oh God, and it needs an iron and a wash. But I'm so excited to mend this amazing fox top. It's how I shop. You know, I sometimes feel like I want to buy something quite special, and I find these brands. I don't know how I found this. It must have been through a blog at the time when I was still really reading blogs by a woman called Hannah. She was Finnish. I don't know what her blog is called now or was called then. It was something like In Manteli, but who knows where it went. I haven't found it. I haven't been able to trace her blog anymore. And she was always writing about Waffleish Waffle, and it's a brand that I think sometimes you can buy in Lafayette in Paris or something. It's like one of those Japanese amazing things that you only find in like small corners of the internet. And we have friends in Japan, and she said, well, I can just order it and bring it next time I come, because I didn't even understand the website of how to order something. And so she did. So that will be fixed and mended as part of my current whips. Last but not least, and I've introduced the little swatch, which is in Pinga set of 3, is my Sahel top. I've already done the draw for the book, so maybe now you feel excited, Micah, and you might join the Sahel Cal. I am knitting this Sahel top by who is Oysters and Pearls on Instagram, and she has an amazing plant dyed yarn company out of New York, US of A, and we met this summer, and I'm so pleased. Just look at that, it's just so yummy. This yarn is Blacker Yarns Leoness in the dark pearl colorway. Moonstone, which the original pattern is designed for, and the sample is knit in Moonstone, was currently not available when I was ordering yarn, so I ended up choosing this lightly darker Moonstone. No, Moonstone I couldn't. Lightly darker, dark pearl colorway. I love it. It's so good. And I'm just about, I think 2 more repeats. I keep saying, I'm just about to come to the decreases. I'm just about to come to the decrease area. Just about to get there. But I think I'm still 3 repeats away. I've been saying that since the last 3 repeats. So better get going, Mimi, so that you're really starting the decreases. And then the exciting thing is you then sort of knit the decreases, the little tiny little, I was going to say sleeves, but it's straps, tiny little straps, and then you cast on again and you knit down the back, downwards. That's such a good idea, Am. It's going to look so lovely because it means the pattern goes up and down, and lovely, lovely. With this twisted rib, I will have a little bit of a finish, a twisted rib in the end. Maybe I'll finish as part of the Breeze Making Stories Cal, maybe I won't. It runs until the 30th of June, but this is not a finish object knit along. It's more like join in, share your progress, show us your process, and be a part of it, knit along. And we'll draw a fun prize at the end on the 30th of June. I'm already super excited because I have ideas of what will go into that prize draw, and I'll keep you posted in my next podcast. The Sahel top lives in an amazing bag by my friend Ute, who's a Berliner magic maker friend. And it's avocado dyed, and I think it's just perfect for something so plant dye, creative, and I love the design. I think it's hot, it's sexy, it's summery, it's linen love. I'm chuffed. It sits in this hot and sexy avocado patchwork bag. This is looking good. Very, oh God, the small things in life, right? Bring happiness. So that was my last whip. I am going to share about a Magic 3 make along book advice at the very end. But right now I wanted to pick up where I left off with my zine sharing, because I'm not just a knitter, I'm also an artist, and I started making a knitting zine to sort of combine the two to have a bit of an outlet. And I have also started following lots of zine makers through the internet, because before I used to go to a zine festival in Berlin, and that's where I got all my zines from. So once a year I would go. I would never really research or try and find things online that were new or something. I'd just go there and I knew I would find something new. So I've been to the last two, and I'm thinking about having a stall in the next time this autumn, but feeling a bit shy about that. Because obviously that's an environment that's quite more edgy and creative and fun and, you know, less knitterly, so maybe I should just delve in. Anyway, by starting to look a bit more online, I found an amazing zine artist and life artist, and actually an amazing soul. She's called Kelly Moody, and she makes the Ground Shoots zine. I just literally got the order at the same time as Lika's fabric parcels, so I haven't had a chance to read, but I just absolutely love her style. This one, I managed to order this through her Sedge and Salt. Is that how you say it? Please almighty, I am so silly. I know, I can look it up. Off Sedge and Salt. Oh God, they're also amazing. Of Sedge and Salt is her webpage, so go and find her there. That's where I ordered these three. She was super supportive in sending to the European far shores because she's usually gets her orders in the US, which is fair enough. She's a US artist. She creates US plant magic, and that's completely good. That, you know, where she finds the plant and she sends it locally, so it doesn't necessarily fly and maybe, I don't know, I'm funny with plant magic and it flying and maybe losing its energy, so I always think that's good. She's sort of, you know, based and rooted there and sharing it there. But her zines, I'm so chuffed. I finally got my hands on them. I think it took me a month to order after I first decided I wanted them. I'm so into this art, this ground shoot zine, that I'm gonna start supporting Kelly on Patreon. She's also got a Patreon page. I can just encourage you to check out her Instagram or her work in real life. In real life, as in haptical. That's what I love about zines. It's more haptic. It's better than anything. And then you see the writing, and her artwork is just so inspirational and free and plant and self-caring. Yeah, I'm very excited to read them all. I might have to do another like catch-up review after I've read them, but I've just had a flick through, and then the next step is sitting and reading. And Kelly, I'm very excited to do that. This is my zine advice or zine share thing. I'm going to quickly grab the book and share about the book, and then we'll have one tarot reading at the end, and then that's it for today. Sorry, back again. So this is the book. It was an advice from Lisa, who is Erica Eccles, on her little mini stories, and I can truly say Thank you, I'm so happy. It's a book about making new from old. So it's sort of like an upcycling book. It's very much, God, I just realized I'm feeling hot. I just need to act when I feel hot. Upcycling in a way that's so good, because it gives you an advice of how to, for example, these ponchos. Maybe I won't be making a poncho, but be using an old sweater, and then it shows you how to cut from an old pattern a new thing. Oh, like you could even make a new sweater from an adult sweater. That is clearly upcycling genius, and it's good to have a book that shows you how to do this. I'm, however, mega excited because I might make this quilted pinafore dress from some of my offcuts and old dresses that I don't wear anymore, and you just combine two types of fabric, which I think that's amazing. So then you basically take apart the old garment and have a bit of a layout of how to cut out your new garment, your mini person's new garment from the old garment or garments. I just think it's absolutely lovely. Oh God, all of it. Yeah, so I'm very excited to dive in to this book a bit more. So that would be Zine book, and now finally I have decided to do another tarot reading, because I have been a bit of on a rocky road. Partly maybe having a dog will solve this. In our rocky road in our family life, I don't want to dive in deeper. That was sort of our hopeful horizon, the perspective of going to the shelter and finding a dog that needs rescuing and that fits into our family brought a lot of happiness. Just that task, that distraction. She's basically very welcome. And oh God, it's there, back to front. So I have got a question which is more general life, but maybe it'll help you as well. How can I stay free of fear? You know, sometimes we get scared of things, or things happening being out of control, out of our own hands, and I'm trying to work out how I can stay free of fear in those moments when I realize it's out of my hands, or there's only so much I can do. So, how to stay free of fear. So I've basically made this little mini semicircle of the Combed Thunder, Natalie Novak's lovely Great Arcana set. And then I use my left hand to draw one card. The Fool. So the Fool is all about the new beginnings and the openness for a new beginning, and maybe the sort of foolishness and naiveness of starting something in one way, but also the sort of creative freedom that maybe that brings if you're less inhibited and more free. I quite like that. It sort of shows the freedom. Maybe it's the sort of the exact emotion I have now after 24 hours with our family dog. Is like, I know nothing. Everything is new to me in this caring, and being new to something is a treasure. I cherish it, and I cherish this little dog. and giving her a chance. And yeah, we'll talk about her more. Now I'm feeling emotional. I don't really want to talk about her because she's had a tough one. Thank you for coming, and thank you for staying around. Oops. Also for my little tarot reading quirkiness. I hope you have a brilliant week. Keep on knitting, keep on positive, keep open, keep the new beginnings. Naivety is not a bad thing. Hey. It keeps us fresh, and it keeps us off the fear train. Let's stay off the fear train. I love you all. See you soon. Bye.